You already have seen, I think, the meeting of Zelensky, Trump, and JD Vance and other officials. Today is a meeting in London. We already have a photo of world leaders. They are dealing with the war in Ukraine. The politicians have bigger problems than electric cars, which they need to deal with. I'm not sure how many electric cars you can buy in Europe, in Germany, for 30,000 euros. So now let's check out at top 5 EV rejection reasons. So let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about the electric car market. Hello guys and welcome to a new video. Today we'll talk about the electric cars, the car market, the situation in the world on this topic, and we will start with the Tesla sales and other manufacturer sales, as you can see here. So this is a nice chart which is looking at year-over-year percentage change in new car registrations across Europe by automakers. So the Tesla has a massive drop, 45%. You can see here the text. Mitsubishi, 30% almost. And then we have smaller numbers, but still big numbers. Here we have, for example, BMW, Mercedes, small decline. On other hand, we have Volkswagen, the VW, which despite all negative, let's say more or less negative news around the electric cars, they have actually growth 5.3%. That's interesting. Renault Group, the France, 5.4%, but the biggest number here, 36.8%, are the Chinese. So the SAIC motor brands, you can see here, MG Motor is the one which I know the most. You can see the Volkswagen is a Chinese group. The large one, you can see all kinds of brands. So mainly I would say the MG is rising in Europe as well. It's interesting that we don't see here the BYD, for example, which is also trying to have a market share in Europe. Now I want to talk about the topic, which is politics, but just like an idea what we need to think about. So you already have seen, I think, the meeting of Zelensky, Trump, and JD Vance and other officials in the Oval Office in the DC, Washington DC. And it was, like a lot of people say, historic, because they were arguing, shouting this and that. And today is a meeting in London. We already have a photo of world leaders, so you can read everyone who is there. Quite a big number of leaders. Europe, also I see here the Canada. Then also, for example, Turkey's Minister of Foreign Affairs. So a lot of world leaders. So they are dealing with the war in Ukraine. So I would say the politicians have bigger problems than electric cars, which they need to deal with. So this report is in Europe, as you can see, 45%. And why this is happening? We have a report here by the CBS. So sales data show many Europeans seemingly angry with Elon Musk as he navigates his close relationship with President Trump to influence US policy, maybe choosing to steer clear of Tesla vehicles. So is the Musk involvement with the President Trump the main reason of decline of the sales for Tesla in Europe? I would say it could be a part, but I don't think 45% year on year would only be because of that, because not everyone cares about the politics. I would say majority of the people don't necessarily do that because of the politics, but I would say some percentage could be because of that. Another reason could be that the Tesla is not really updating its cars as fast as some other brands, and only now we can see, for example, the Model Y Juniper rolling out after so many years, and the Model 3 also last year started to roll out. And now let's check out the Tesla stock. So you can see the downfall trend here, 13%, 5 days. Now if we check the 6 months we can see that it is going down since the December 17th. So 2.5 months it's going down. Alright, so now let's talk about the next topic, Inside EV report about the public EV charging infrastructure and the problems about it. So the public EV charging was already getting worse then Trump killed federal funding. So as you may heard and have seen in the news, the President Trump is really not a big fan of the electric cars, and availability is one problem, but there is also uptime and connection issues. Now without funding it could get even worse, J.D. Power warns. 1 of 5 drivers, so 20%, has been unable to charge at public location. This is up from 18% in 2023, so 2% decline to 20%. The perception of bad charging infrastructure is one of the biggest roadblocks to wider EV adoption. So now let's check out at top 5 EV rejection reasons and percentage citation among very unlikely and somewhat unlikely shoppers. And shoppers prompted to mark all that apply. So lack of charging station availability, 51%. So that's like the biggest reason why people don't want to buy electric cars. 49%, almost the same. Time required to charge. Next we have 47, so also quite a big number. Limited driving distance per charge. 44%. Purchase price, so the price of the vehicle. And 39% inability to charge at home or work. But we will also check out the German survey among the people, what they think about that. So from my own experience, when I'm charging electric cars, it can happen that I arrive at public charging station and it's occupied, and all chargers, there are cars sitting at the chargers, so I have to wait until someone has charged the car and they go away. But many people are doing that they actually have charged car, but they will not come back there. If the charging spot is in the shopping mall, they will continue to shopping, and then when they finish shopping, they will come back to the car and go away. And the correct way should be that if your car is charged, you have it on the smartphone, it will tell you that your car is charged. So you go back to the charging spot, you unplug your car, and you will go and continue shopping. You repark the car, so another person can go and charge the car as well, and you continue with your shopping in the shopping mall. But not everyone is doing this. Another problem could be that the combustion car is actually parked at the charging space where there are chargers, and this combustion car does not need to charge the car because they have a combustion car. It's not a plug-in hybrid, it's a full combustion car, but they are still parking there. Why? Nobody knows, because everyone has different reasons why they are parking, but it is happening. And then also it happens that they arrive at the charging spot and nothing is happening. Why? Because the charger is not working. Simply they need to be restarted or some other things. The charging acceptance of the chip or card is not working for whatever reason, and you don't have the time to deal with this stuff. So you go away to different charger if it's available, the next one, and if not, you need to drive to a different charger, and then you spend more time to find the charger which is working. So that's also something what I experienced personally. And sometimes maybe the grid doesn't have a capacity at the time. I also experienced that the numbers on the station says one thing and the real charging is much lower, maybe half, maybe different percentage, but it's not even close to what it should be. Like once I had 150 kilowatt, nobody was near me, so I had only the charger for myself, but it charged only with the speed around 75 or 80 kilowatts. Why? I'm not sure. So this stuff happens, and that's why I think the people are mentioning this reason. Then we have limited driving distance per charge. This will vary based on the car. Some have a bigger battery, some smaller battery, more efficient, less efficient. So this can vary. price, that's also a big topic, I would say, because the electric car, equivalent combustion and electric, almost always the electric is more expensive than the equivalent combustion car. And inability to charge at home or work, this essentially means that you don't have a charger at work, which many people don't have, and at home, even if you want to have a charger, many people don't have a possibility, and it's not even possible to have a charger, to install the charger, because of many reasons: landlord, electrical grid, and so many other reasons. Every building has different different solutions and different needs. So yeah, that's also a reason why many people can't even have a charger. So then the report says that we should focus on slower charging, because the funding was to install fast chargers and not the slower ones. So we can focus on level 1 and level 2 chargers, which are the slower one, the overnight, let's say, or during work. But I would say it's also, that would be fantastic if everyone would have their own cable to charge the car, but I think this will be pretty difficult to achieve. Now let's check out what is happening in Germany. So the Deutsche Press agency, the German press agency, did a recent survey about the electric cars and consumers. So high prices are the main reason German consumers are reluctant to switch to electric vehicles, a survey commissioned by DPA and published on Sunday, so today. The study carried out by the YouGov Research Institute found that 47% of respondents cited excessive costs as the main barrier to buying an electric car. Other principal factors included the limited range of battery-powered vehicles, an issue for 42% of respondents, and the lack of charging stations at 40%. So once again, similar reasons as we can see in the United States. Only 30% of respondents were deterred by high electricity prices, while 24% expressed reservations that the technology has not yet been fully developed. Sales of electric vehicles plummeted 27% in Germany in 2024 after a government subsidy expired. So they expired the subsidy, and then the sales plummeted almost one-third, 27%. As the survey highlighted, customers were unwilling to fork out huge sums to make the switch to battery-powered models. Only 12% of respondents said they would be willing to pay more than 30,000 euros, 31,000 USD dollars, for an electric vehicle, which is that's, I would say, even laughable, or I should cry, I don't know. But I'm not sure how many electric cars you can buy in Europe, in Germany, for 30,000 euros. That's a very small percentage. The German premium and even Volkswagen and other brands have many electric cars which are above this number. However, despite increasing competition from China, cheap electric cars remain a rarity in Germany, with the ADAC Motoring Club listing only 6 battery-powered models on sale below the 30,000 mark. So that's true that even the Chinese cars, which are in Europe, are pretty expensive. Europe's largest car manufacturer, Volkswagen, is planning an entry-level electric model at a price around 20,000. Then another report from the UK, Telegraph. Electric car rules are pushing Britain towards a disaster. Car makers are slowing down production because of green mandates, risking jobs and billions of pounds. So there is also, as you can see, problem with BMW factory in Oxford, with the electric minis are made. And yeah, that's also a very big problem, because people are not buying enough electric cars, but the government is demanding to make a certain percentage of sales in electric cars, and in this way it's a big problem, because they need to make the cars, but not enough people are buying those cars. And the sector-wide collapse would be an economic, political and social catastrophe. So this could lead to a catastrophe, but we are the UK is heading unless these ZEV rules will rapidly change. And only 71k vehicles rolled off the production lines in January 2025 this year, down from almost 83k during the same month in the previous year, shocking 14.3% below what was already a low base. And from January 2023, UK car makers are faced fines if 22% of cars being sold in Britain were not fully electric, paying an astonishing 15k pounds for every vehicle by which they fell short. This is an extraordinary number. And the reality is that the EVs are expensive, unreliable, and drivers have range anxiety, given our patchy and often expensive charging network. EVs also depreciate sharply, and the second-hand market is slow. So, since the start of 2025, the ZEV mandate is 28%, increasing steadily to 80% by 2030 and 100% outlawing new petrol and diesel cars by 2035. I believe from 2030 it should be only plug-in hybrids and electric cars. So that's only 5 years from now, less than 5 years. And how they want to do that, that will be interesting to see if it would be even possible. So then let's take a look at what is planning Europe to do with this situation of declining. So they want to pump even more money to keep EVs and clean energy plans on course. And this is a part of EU's Clean Industrial Deal, meant to help the clean tech and manufacturing sectors flourish in the region. So there have been talks about the reindustrialization of Europe or Europe's industrial renaissance for over a decade. However, while there have been efforts to make this a reality, Europe isn't the manufacturing powerhouse it once was. Similar to the US, has relied heavily on the tech and manufacturing from abroad, mostly in China. But now, in the wake of Trump's repositioning of the US concerning the European Union, however, Europe doesn't want to do this at any cost, and it still wants to stay true to its long-term objectives of decarbonization and general promotion of clean energy and tech. And in the end, let's check out the report from Daily Mail in the UK that the major car manufacturer to axe 6,000 jobs in drastic cost-cutting drive amid expensive rollout of electric vehicles. So around 6,000 people, that's quite a lot, could lose their jobs as Czech car making giant Skoda is set to make drastic cuts to keep up with an expensive electric vehicle rollout. And the car manufacturer hopes to boost their electric vehicles sales by 8% amid the global drop in demand. The costly rollout of electric vehicles could see penny pinching across the business, with up to 15% of their 41,000 employees globally out of jobs. Worldwide lack of demand has hit the electrical vehicle industry, and in November the boss of Ford's UK arm warned that Britain's car industry is in crisis because of insufficient demand. So once again, people are not buying electric cars enough. But Skoda is looking to continue its electric evolution by selling a fully electric Octavia compact hatchback. So I think the electric Octavia has bigger potential than electric SUVs, Enyaq Coupe, because people really love the Octavia. It's really practical. So I think it has a potential to sell even better than the SUVs, which are now essentially hit among every manufacturer. But news of the potential job losses come days after an Audi megafactory in Belgium closes, as tanking demand for electric vehicles saw 3,000 job cut. And the closing Audi factory in Brussels was built as the cradle of the German carmaker's electric drive. So let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about the electric car market, mandates, and what do you think are the solutions going forward with electric cars. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you soon in the next video. Have a wonderful day.